Hogan's Heroes was a brilliantly clever comedy set during World War II, where a group of Allied POWs pulled off some of the smartest and funniest tricks to outsmart their hapless German captors from inside a POW camp. Created by the dynamic duo Bernard Fine and Albert S. Ruddy, this beloved series aired from 1965 to 1971 and quickly became a classic, celebrated for its sharp humor and unforgettable characters. From the cunning Colonel Hogan to the lovable Sergeant Schultz, the show was a unique mix of comedy and adventure that kept viewers hooked. Ever wondered what the original cast members have been up to since those hilarious days? Let's jump in and find out. Number 1. Bob Caine, as Colonel Hogan's a master of deception, a cunning strategist who always seems to be one step ahead. In the treacherous world of Luftstalag, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, outwitting the clueless Germans at every turn. His secret weapon? Reverse psychology. Hogan's a master manipulator, particularly when it comes to the easily duped Commandant Klink. By playing on Klink's insecurities and ego, Hogan can often convince him to do exactly what Hogan wants, without Klink even realizing he's been played. Handsome and affable, actor Bob Caine looked every bit the wholesome middle American everyman he played in film and television. As the star of the unlikely CBS wartime comedy, Hogan's Heroes, Caine gained national stardom with his portrayal of Colonel Robert Hogan, the irreverent and mischievously sly leader of a group of Allied POWs during World War II. During this time, Bob met Patty Olson, who played Hilda on Hogan's Heroes. After divorcing his first wife, Anne, he married Patty in 1970, and they had a son, Scott, in 1971. In 1971, though, Hogan's Heroes was suddenly canceled, bringing an end to Bob's career high. He kept acting but found it harder to land meaningful roles. He appeared in a few Disney films like Superdad and Gus, and made guest spots on shows like Policewoman, Ellery Queen, and The Love Boat. In 1975, he got his own show, The Bob Caine Show, but it was canceled after just 3 months. During the run of Hogan's Heroes, Bob Caine frequently filmed his sexual encounters, introduced to video equipment by John Carpenter, a Sony salesman. The two became friends, visiting bars together, with Caine often introducing Carpenter as his manager. They recorded their encounters with women, some of whom later claimed they were unaware of the taping. Carpenter eventually aligned his work trips with Caine's dinner theater schedule to continue this activity. In June 1978, while Caine was performing in Scottsdale, Arizona, he was found murdered in his apartment. He had been bludgeoned to death, likely with a camera tripod, and an electrical cord was tied around his neck. The crime remains unsolved. Number 2. Werner Klemperer as Colonel Klink's a total bumbling buffoon, a wannabe commander who's more clueless than a lost puppy. He's gullible as a goldfish, scaredy-cat as a kitten, and way too full of himself for his own good. It's a miracle he can tie his shoelaces. He's constantly tripping over his own feet, making mistakes that would make a toddler blush. You'd think he'd learn, but nope, he's too stubborn for his own good. Watching him try to act tough is like watching a clown trying to juggle bowling balls. He's a pathetic excuse for a leader, a man who'd get lost in his own living room. It's a wonder he hasn't been fired yet. Werner Klemperer's journey is both remarkable and deeply ironic. At just 13, he fled Nazi Germany with his family, escaping the horrors of fascism because of his father's Jewish heritage. Fast forward to his acting career in the U.S., and Klemperer found himself playing the very figures he once ran from. He's best known for his unforgettable portrayal of Colonel Klink, the monocle-wearing, vain, and often bumbling Nazi officer on Hogan's Heroes, 1965 to 1971. This role earned him 2 Emmy Awards and cemented him as a comedic icon. But Klemperer wasn't just about laughs. He could take on darker, more serious roles that left a chilling impact. He portrayed Adolf Eichmann, the architect of the Holocaust, in Operation Eichmann and a Nazi war criminal in Judgment at Nuremberg. These roles, combined with his work on Hogan's Heroes, showed Klemperer's incredible range, proving he could bring depth and intensity to even the most challenging characters. His career, shaped by both humor and history, stands as a testament to his versatility as an actor. Werner Klemperer had 2 children with his first wife, Susan Dempsey, Mark, born in 1959, and Erica, born in 1963. While working on the set of Hogan's Heroes, he met actress Louise Troy, who was guest starring on the show. The two married in 1969, but divorced in 1975. Sadly, Klemperer died of cancer at his Manhattan home on December 6, 2000, at the age of 80. He was cremated, and his ashes were scattered at sea. Number 3. John Banner as Sergeant Schultz. Schultz is a real space cadet. You could ask him his name twice, and he'd probably still scratch his head. He's a total bumbler as a guard. If he knew how to load a gun, he'd probably shoot himself in the foot by accident. But that's what's so funny about him. Even though he's terrible at his job, he somehow ends up helping the prisoners more than he hurts them. It's like he's accidentally good at being bad. John Banner, best known for his unforgettable role as the bumbling Sergeant Schultz on Hogan's Heroes, 1965, was born on January 28, 1910, in Vienna, which at the time was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. When Banner first arrived in the U.S., he was a slim 180 pounds, but over time he gained about 100 pounds, becoming the lovable, chubby character actor audiences would soon recognize from countless TV shows and movies. Often cast as foreign officials, Banner played roles like the Soviet ambassador in the comedy Kisses for My President, 1964. In 1965, Banner landed the role of Sergeant Schultz, the hapless POW camp guard on Hogan's Heroes, a CBS sitcom that premiered on September 17, 1965. The show put a comedic spin on wartime life, inspired by the earlier film Stalag 17, 1953, and Banner's portrayal of the clueless but kind-hearted Schultz, famous for his line, "I know nothing," quickly became iconic. While Schultz was often seen as a lovable figure, Banner himself insisted that the character represented the goodness in every person, steering away from labeling Schultz as just a cuddly Nazi. Banner teamed up with his Hogan's Heroes co-stars, Werner Klemperer, Colonel Klink, and Bob Crane, Colonel Hogan, in the film The Wicked Dreams of Paula Schultz, though the movie didn't exactly make waves. After Hogan's Heroes wrapped in 1971, Banner took on the role of Uncle Lotzie, an inept gangster, in the short-lived sitcom The Chicago Teddy Bears. His final appearance on screen was a guest spot on The Partridge Family in March 1972. After that, he retired to France with his Parisian second wife. Sadly, on January 28, 1973, his 63rd birthday, Banner passed away from a burst abdominal aortic aneurysm while visiting friends in Vienna. Number 4. Robert Clary as LeBeau. Long live France. Long live food. That's Louis LeBeau's motto. He's a fancy chef and a part-time fashion guy. Watch him turn simple food into fancy dishes that will blow your mind. Behind his big smile, this brave soldier has a sharp tongue. He doesn't hold back when it comes to making fun of the Nazis and Germans. He's not just a great chef, he's also really funny. And here's a funny thing. Even though he's scared of small spaces, he can squeeze into tiny hiding places like a pro. Robert Clary was born in France and faced unimaginable hardships during World War II when he was interned in a Nazi concentration camp as a child. After the war, his passion for music blossomed, and he became a singing star in France. In 1949, he made the leap to the United States to further his career, kicking things off with a memorable appearance on The Ed Wynn Show, where he performed a comedy skit in French while still mastering English. Clary's comedic talent quickly caught the spotlight, and he made a name for himself on Broadway, featuring in several revues, including the hugely successful Leonard Sillman's New Faces, which even got a film adaptation in 1960. Throughout the 1950s, he became a familiar face on game shows, but it was in 1965 that he struck gold with the role of Corporal LeBeau on the hit TV series Hogan's Heroes. This role catapulted him into the limelight, and he continued to land roles in film and television, often drawing from his World War II experiences, as showcased in the poignant movie Remembrance of Love, 1982, which highlighted the stories of Holocaust survivors. In his later years, Clary returned to the small screen, joining popular shows like Days of Our Lives and The Young and the Restless, continuing to captivate audiences with his incredible talent and resilience. Sadly, Clary died of natural cause at his Los Angeles home on November 16, 2022, at age 96. Number 5. Richard Dawson as Newkirk. Newkirk's a real pro when it comes to clothes and disguises. He can make you look like $1 million or completely hide who you are in a flash. He's also a master of tricks, like stealing things, making fake documents, and cracking safes. It's like he's a one-man army of spies, able to fool anyone with a smile and a well-chosen outfit. You'll never guess if he's a tailor or a secret agent. He's just that good. With each mention of Survey Says, Richard Dawson gained worldwide fame as the wisecracking, very charming host of the long-running television game show Family Feud, which pitted two families against each other in a quest to name the most popular survey answers posed to 100 people. While the very nature of the show created many memorable moments as the contestants frenetically tried to outguess each other, it was Dawson's quick wit, warm personality, and jokes laced with double entendres that made Family Feud one of the most popular game shows in history. The British actor and comedian was also called the Kissing Bandit, Dickie, and Kissy Face, because he made a habit of kissing every single female contestant, much to their near-universal delight. Prior to his eternal Family Feud fame, Dawson was already a household name for his recurring role as the jack-of-all-trades Corporal Peter Newkirk on the classic comedy series Hogan's Heroes. He was also an audience favorite as one of the panelists on yet another game show of that era, Match Game 73, CBS, 1973-79. With such impressive stints as host, coupled with a long-standing career in comedy, Dawson remained a beloved television personality long after he had disappeared from the public eye. After retiring, Dawson stayed in Beverly Hills, California, where he had lived since 1964. He met his second wife, Gretchen Johnson, a Family Feud contestant, in May 1981, and they married in 1991. Their daughter was born in 1990, and Dawson proudly announced her birth during his return as host of Family Feud in 1994. He appeared with her on the show multiple times, including on his birthday in 1995. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Dawson was active in various movements, including the Selma to Montgomery marches and George McGovern's 1972 presidential campaign. Sadly, Dawson passed away from complications related to esophageal cancer at the Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles on June 2, 2012, at the age of 79. He is interred at Westwood Memorial Park in Los Angeles. Number 6. Larry Hovis as Carter. Carter's really into science, but he's kind of clumsy and forgetful. You never know what weird stuff he'll make in the lab, and sometimes it's a total mess. The other prisoners joke that he looks like a German, and he can even act like one, even Hitler. Newkirk and LeBeau like to tease him about not knowing much about girls. But who cares when you're smart and can blow stuff up? Larry Hovis burst onto the scene on February 20, 1936, in Wapato, Washington. But he really came into his own in Houston, Texas. He kicked off his entertainment career as a vocalist, teaming up with his sister Joan in a duo before joining a quartet called The Mascots. They even made waves on Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts. While diving into philosophy studies at the University of Houston, Larry snagged a record deal with Capitol Records, where he recorded the album My Heart Belongs to Only You. Everything changed for Larry when he landed a small role in the pilot episode of Hogan's Heroes, 1965. After 2 actors left the show, he was promoted to a permanent spot as the witty demolition expert, Sergeant Carter. But Larry wasn't just a talented actor. He also flexed his writing chops, contributing to iconic shows like Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In and penning the screenplay for the film Out of Sight, 1966. When Hogan's Heroes was suddenly canceled in 1971, Larry didn't skip a beat. He popped up in various TV shows, including The Doris Day Show, Adam 12, Chico and the Man, and Alice. He also took a turn behind the scenes producing several game shows, most notably Liars Club, where he was a regular panelist from 1976 to 1978. Larry kept the momentum going, continuing to act into the early 1990s, leaving his mark on the entertainment world for years to come. Sadly, Hovis died of esophageal cancer in Austin, Texas, on September 9, 2003. He was 67 years old. Number 7. Ivan Dixon, as Kinchloe, grew up in Detroit and used to work for the phone company. That made him really good at secret messages. He can sound just like a German officer on the radio or phone. Before the war, Kinchloe was a great boxer. He's tough and has fast reflexes, which help him a lot in his underground work. Ivan Dixon, a talented African-American actor and director, is best known for his role as Kinchloe on the hit sitcom Hogan's Heroes. Born to shop-owner parents and raised in North Carolina, Dixon's passion for the arts led him to study drama at North Carolina Central University. He made his Broadway debut in 1957 in William Saroyan's Cave Dwellers and gained further recognition as Joseph Assagai in Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun. Dixon reprised the role in the 1961 film adaptation and appeared in the 1959 musical Porgy and Bess. In 1964, he starred alongside Abbey Lincoln in the critically acclaimed indie film Nothing But a Man, and also appeared in A Patch of Blue, 1965. His TV credits grew, with memorable roles in Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits. Dixon earned an Emmy nomination in 1967 for his performance in The Final War of Ollie Winter on CBS Playhouse. However, his most iconic role came in 1965 when he was cast as the clever POW Kinchloe on Hogan's Heroes. After 5 seasons, he left the show, finding the role less challenging. In 1970, Dixon shifted his focus to directing, carving out a successful career behind the camera. He directed episodes of popular TV shows like Magnum P.I. and helmed films such as Trouble Man and the politically charged The Spook, Who Sat by the Door, continuing to make his mark on the entertainment industry well into the early 90s. After a successful career as an actor and director, Ivan Dixon shifted gears and became the owner-operator of radio station KONIFM in Maui. He managed the station until 2001, when health issues led him to sell it in 2002. Dixon's personal life was just as full. He married fellow theater student Burley Ray in 1954, the same year he graduated from North Carolina Central University. Together, they raised 4 children, sons, Ivan IV, and Guy Christopher, and Alan Kamara Dixon, and daughter Doris Nomathande Dixon. Ivan Dixon passed away on March 16, 2008, at the age of 76, due to complications from kidney failure in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was predeceased by his sons, Ivan IV and N. Guy Christopher. His wife, Burley Ray Dixon, outlived him by over a decade, passing away on February 9, 2019, at the age of 88. Number 8. Leon Askin, as General Burkhalter Klink's sneaky secretary, Burkhalter, has taken Helga's place as the go-between for Hogan's spies. He's helping the prisoners by passing them secret messages, backing up their crazy stories, and even going to fancy parties with German bigwigs to keep them busy and get information. Burkhalter's a real pro at lying and tricking people. He's like a magician who always seems to have the upper hand. At just 9 years old, Leon Askin stood in front of Vienna's City Hall, reciting a 17-stanza eulogy for Emperor Franz Joseph. The son of a salesman, young Askin could hardly have imagined that he would later become a student of renowned theater figures Max Reinhardt and Louise Dumont, or discover the works of Jura Soifer while directing the political cabaret ABC. Emigrating in 1938, Askin crossed paths with legendary figures like Erwin Piscator, the founder of epic realism, with whom he worked for the next 30 years. On the set of Billy Wilder's 1, 2, 3, 1961, Wilder famously welcomed Askin with the words, "Here comes my professional." Known for playing the funny villain, Askin performed alongside stars like Richard Burton, Doris Day, and James Cagney. But it wasn't just his on-screen work that made him memorable. Askin captivated both critics and audiences with his commanding stage performances, including Faust and Shylock on Broadway, which he also directed, and Othello in Hamburg. Of course, TV viewers will always remember him as the stern General Burkhalter in Hogan's Heroes, 1965, a role that cemented his place in television history. Askin died from natural causes in Vienna on June 3, 2005, at the age of 97, and is interred at Vienna Central Cemetery. By the time he passed away in 2007, Askin had amassed an impressive resume with over 125 screen credits, leaving a lasting legacy in the entertainment industry. Number 9. Sigrid Valdis, as Hilda, Klink's secretary, might look like a regular office worker, but she's actually a secret agent. She's really smart and quick-witted, and she's great at thinking on her feet. Hilda has to be very careful because she's working for the Allies, while pretending to be loyal to the Germans. She uses her charm and cleverness to trick the Germans and help the prisoners escape. Despite balancing a growing family, Sigrid's passion for acting pushed her to study at Stella Adler's theater school while working on her first feature film. Her natural talent quickly made waves, and by 1964, she was back in California, ready to pursue a full-time career in acting. Her film success led to opportunities in television, where she worked with legends like Phil Silvers, Steve Allen, and Red Skelton. She also appeared in hit shows like Kraft Mystery Theater, Arrest and Trial, and The Wild Wild West, sharing the screen with stars such as Dennis Hopper and Robert Conrad. On stage, Sigrid shined, notably starring in the 1968 touring production of Cactus Flower alongside Bob Crane. In 1965, Sigrid caught the attention of Hogan's Heroes producer Edward H. Feldman, leading to her guest role as Gretchen in episode 10. Feldman was so impressed with her performance that he brought her back as a regular cast member for the second season, playing Hilda, Colonel Klink's secretary. Her time on the show sparked a real-life romance with co-star Bob Crane, and the two were married on the set of Hogan's Heroes on October 16, 1970, in what was reported as the first real wedding to take place on a soundstage. A year later, they welcomed their son, Robert Scott Crane. After his birth, Sigrid chose to retire from acting to focus on her family, embracing her role as a wife and mother. Her journey from a young model to a beloved TV actress is a testament to her incredible versatility and talent in the entertainment world. Sadly, twice widowed, Valdis died on October 14, 2007, from lung cancer in Anaheim, California, aged 72. Number 10. Howard Caine as Hochstetter. Hochstetter is the best at getting people to talk. He's like a dog that won't give up, finding every little thing and forcing the truth out of those poor prisoners. Even though he's tough, he's really loyal to the Nazis. He's like a soldier who won't stop fighting for what he believes in. Howard Caine, originally Howard Cohen, made a bold move at just 13, leaving behind Nashville, Tennessee, for the vibrant energy of New York City. It was here that his acting journey truly began. Determined to shake off his Southern accent, Howard mastered 32 different dialects, both foreign and American, setting the stage for a versatile career. After serving in the Navy during World War II, he pursued his passion at Columbia University, graduating summa cum laude from the School of Drama. With over 750 television appearances under his belt, Howard is best known for his unforgettable portrayal of Gestapo Major Hochstetter on Hogan's Heroes, 1965, a role that cemented his place in TV history throughout the show's 6-year run. In 1976, he took on another notable part as Everett Scoville, based on Charles Manson's attorney, in the CBS TV movie Helter Skelter. Outside of acting, Howard had a deep love for music, particularly the Appalachian 5-string banjo. He started mastering the instrument in the mid-1960s and spent over 2 decades competing and winning trophies at various banjo and fiddle contests in the South. His passion for traditional music extended to folk singing, where he was a beloved performer at clubs and festivals, sharing his love for the roots of American music right up until his passing in 1993. Sadly, Caine died of a heart attack on December 28, 1993, 5 days short of his 68th birthday, number 11. John Cedar, as Langenscheidt, a loyal foot soldier, marches to the beat of the Nazi drum. Always eager to please Schultz and Klink, he's a yes man to the core. His blind obedience often lands him in hot water, especially when he's caught in the prisoner's crosshairs. But his loyalty is as solid as a German tank. Langenscheidt's bumbling antics and the absurd situations he finds himself in are a comedic goldmine. John Cedar, with his charming presence and memorable performances, is best known for his role as the clumsy yet lovable Corporal, Karl Langenscheidt, on the classic 1960s sitcom HOGAN'S Heroes. Set in a World War II German POW camp, Cedar's comedic timing made him a fan favorite in the show's zany, high-stakes adventures. But Cedar's career stretched far beyond the sitcom. Over his 35-year career, he tackled a variety of roles, from comedies like Feds, 1988, where he appeared alongside FBI trainees, to more dramatic fare such as Matlock. Horror fans might know him from the cult supernatural flick The Manitou, where Cedar didn't just act, he co-wrote the script and produced the film, which featured Tony Curtis and Burgess Meredith in a battle against a vengeful medicine man. Sadly, John Cedar passed away from leukemia on April 14, 2011, at the age of 80, at Providence Tarzana Medical Center in Los Angeles, leaving behind a legacy of talent, mentorship, and memorable performances. Number 12. Bernard Fox, as Colonel Crittenden, a bumbling buffoon in a uniform, is Hogan's comedic foil. His well-meaning but disastrous plans are a recipe for disaster. Despite his military rank, he's as clumsy as a newborn giraffe, often hindering the team's missions. But beneath his bumbling exterior lies a heart of gold and a deep patriotism. His unwavering belief in the Allied cause drives his actions, even if his methods are as flawed as a faulty parachute. The lovable Welsh actor Bernard Fox, with his bushy whiskers and warm personality, is best known for playing a mix of classic British characters, from the stiff upper lip types to charmingly clumsy ones. Coming from an acting family, he got his start on stage as a kid and even served on a minesweeper in the Royal Navy during World War II. In the 1960s, Fox became a familiar face on American television. He won hearts as the quirky warlock Doctor, Bombay on Bewitched, and as the bumbling Colonel Rodney Crittenden on Hogan's Heroes. He also took on the role of Doctor Watson alongside Stuart Granger's Sherlock Holmes in The Hound of the Baskervilles, putting his own spin on the character. Fox made guest appearances on a slew of popular shows, including 12 O'Clock High, The Man from UNCLE, Columbo, and MASH. Later in his career, he played memorable roles in movies like Archibald Gracie IV in Titanic and Winston Havelock in The Mummy. His love for theater didn't stop at television and film. He performed in productions across Canada, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and even had a stint on Broadway in 3 Rue de l'Amour in 1978. Outside of acting, he was known for being a theater historian, a passionate gardener, a landscape painter, and a magic enthusiast, always bringing joy to whatever he did. Sadly, on the morning of December 14, 2016, Fox died of heart failure at Valley Presbyterian Hospital in Van Nuys, California. He was 89 years old. We just had a hilarious trip down memory lane with the HOGAN'S Heroes crew. Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more classic sitcom throwbacks. See you next time.